I'm Madeline Harvey. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and welcome to day 4 of our Mix Like a Pro challenge. The objective of today's video is to talk about how to blend registration. This will give you so much more consistency and confidence in your mix. So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. The video that you're about to see was taken as a clip from a live lesson that was shot earlier today. If you'd like to watch the entire live and participate in the exercises, then I invite you to click that join button below and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. If that's like super late for you or really, really early, fear not. You'll also have access to our members only area with over 70 plus hours of vocal instruction. So again, just click that join button. It's only $4.99 a month, and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content just for you. You ready to get started? Here we go. Welcome to day 4 of our Mix Like a Pro challenge. Our objective of today is going to be blend those registrations. And I think thus far, out of the lessons that we've had so far, this one might be difficult for us, because what do we want to blend? We want to blend the head and the chest registers together. It might be really exposing in terms of where our actual weak areas are, but I've put together some exercises for you that will give you that feeling of consistency and blend if you stick to them. So I just want to say I'm so glad to see everyone. We do these lives every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're new here, we're so glad that you're here. And also, if you want to continue your learning, be sure to check me out on Skillshare. We just launched a new module on endurance, and stamina is coming soon. So keep an eye on that. Okay, you guys ready? All right, well, when we talk about blend, because I think this tends to be where a lot of singers get upset in their voices, is trying to blend those registers. But we want to look at it blend across a couple of different dimensions. What we want to start with first is generating a sense of movement in the voice. It is very, very, very important that as we generate a sense of movement in the voice, now by movement, we're going to be sliding up and down just consistently 3 times through an octave slide. So we're going to go. The idea with this is the more you go back and forth between one register and the next, the more you reinforce the space between. It's like your voice gets a sense of feeling what it feels like to go from one to the other. So you do not want to prefer one register over the other. Now you will notice that when you're moving the voice, especially when you get in the middle, that it really is going to feel like you really start to prefer that head voice. And I'm okay with that. We just want to make sure that we don't grip the voice, trying to keep it in some sort of a stabilized chest voice. So first exercise we want to do, we want to make sure that we close the mouth. Just like that. We're going to be removing the mouth as a resonator. As you go back and forth, blending, moving, it's going to release more and more and more tension from that mix. So that's what we want to start off with. So our exercise sounds like this. Back and forth. Now, do not go passive on me. Just because it's a simple exercise, don't go passive on me. I want you to really think, if you can stand, I'd prefer that you'd stand, because I want you to lift that sternum a little bit like you're trying to make yourself really tall. Notice that when you lift your sternum, that your abs tense a little bit. So make sure that you can relax them relatively. But I want you to concentrate right here on my little, what is that, little unicycler. Not unicycle, you know what I mean. Right there. So I want you to feel like you're doing a tiny little crunch right there. So you'll feel that little bit of lift from the diaphragm. This makes sure that you've got the adequate support and you're not just going to squeeze at the level of the cords. Here we go, let's give it a try. Keep your breathing nice and stable because we want to get through all 3 slides. We don't want to be like gripping when we return to that lower note. Good. Really feel that head voice is releasing that top note. Good. Feel that follow through on that top note. Back down. Good. Now, I'm going to change it right here from G4 to G5. I'm going to change it just a little bit to make it a little bit harder. So we've released the tension from the mix as we've slid going from one to the other. Now we want to increase speed, because usually when we talk about speed as singers, that really makes the voice very temperamental, gets very nervous and tries to control everything here. So I want to give you permission, because we're going to do our... Now we're going to jump. That might be a little fast. It might be a little fast, but it's okay. I want you to feel that most of the movement is coming from your diaphragm. So remember, keep that sternum lifted, but do not sway the back. Keep the back nice and straight. And we're just going to we're going to give that a try to see what it feels like to actually jump back and forth between an octave. So if we go, just sort of tune into that feeling. You feel that that movement comes from the diaphragm. That's what we're doing. Just picking up a little bit of speed, a little bit of dexterity, but the same rules apply. As we go back and forth between the octave, we are reinforcing that the chords know how to feel the spaces between those notes, and so they don't grip or they don't push to overcompensate. So we're going to take it a little slower, but still a little faster than what we just did. Here we go. Want to take it back up? Let's do that. Do that. Good. Don't effort here. If it's too high, just drop out. Back down. speed going into that higher note. Good. Very good. Now, if you don't have time to do a lot of mixing or blending exercises, I would suggest something like this. Going slower allows for that sense of movement, just feeling the freedom of lack of tension between the registers. And then when you pick it up in speed, you're looking for more dexterity from the diaphragm. But what you want to think of is that you're like tossing a Frisbee. You're just tossing it. You're not trying to make anything happen here, but you do want the breath and the chords to sort of be more in sync with each other to adapt to those changing conditions. As we play with our mix challenge, I just want to remind you that we already speak with a mix. We're already talking at a level of the mix. So when you're practicing, bring some of that familiarity of your own speech into your practice. So that will keep you away from what's called like doing voicings, like almost like character voices of a singer. So if I'm like pretending to be an opera singer, I'm like, yeah, it's like, of course, it's like a characterization, so that makes it a little bit easier to feel. But in terms of your own voice, your own mix, you want to go no further than your own speaking voice. So just keep that in mind. Now that we've done that, we've effectively warmed up the blend. Now we're going to slow it down and get right into a little bit more consistency. So here's what we're going to do. I want to do so many exercises today, so bear with me, guys, because I just want to throw the kitchen sink at you. So I really want you to feel, but I've got to keep it simple also. I'm going to throw it back to a really simple exercise, and that is in G. I love this. And if you think you know this exercise, you might, but if you think you know it, I would leave some space to just get to know the sensation a little bit deeper, because I'm going to try to make it deeper for you. So if we say the word sing, we notice that the tongue position that it takes on that last in-G sound. The tip of the tongue touches the back of the teeth. It will stay at the back of the teeth. The heel of the tongue lifts and sort of shuts off the mouth as a resonator. This allows a straight path for your airflow, your vocal tract, to go from the throat straight into the nose. This is all great. It's all great. But that's not why I chose this exercise today. The reason I chose it is because it creates a sort of pressure-dependent seal on the vocal cords. I will say that again so you guys can go, huh, and keep that in mind. It creates a pressure-dependent seal, a sort of way to close the chords that is a little bit more precise and more indicative of an actual blend. When we think of head voice, it's fine if it's heady, but I don't want it to be breathy. When it's breathy, that's falsetto. And that wasn't even a good falsetto. That was a full-on disconnect. So we want to be able to create, first and foremost, that closure of that chords. So we've got to build a little bit more pressure within the vocal tract. In G is a great exercise to do that in. Because it removes the mouth as a resonator, it keeps the air as concentrated as it can as it goes from the body through the face space. I like that. It's very descriptive. Through the face and into the nose. So I just want you to feel that. Since mix is indicative of speech, we want to make sure we get that closure correctly. So we're going to go through a couple of different passagios. I will point out what is common for a men's passagio, and I will point out what is common for women's passagio. So we're going to linger in on those notes that we know are probably going to wobble. They're probably going to get a little uneven, but it's very important that we reinforce those notes before we get into strengthening them or creating power. So we want to make sure that we reinforce where we're actually the weakest. So here's where the rubber hits the road, they say. So in G, we're going to start at my beloved F. I love that note. But we're going to walk it down just like that. And I just want you to feel nothing more. Keep it quiet than your speech. Okay, nothing more than your actual speech. If I were trying to sing it, I may try to give it a quality. Don't worry about that right now. Just aim for your good old speaking. Here we go.